Hello, good evening, and welcome to the midweek fix on the LFC Daytrippers. I'm your host, Keith, and tonight I'm joined by Chris, by Emmet, and by Ash. We're going to look ahead to tomorrow's semi-final in the Champions League, first leg between Liverpool and Villarreal. But we're also going to have a quick chat on the first leg of the Man City Real Madrid semi-final, which was tonight. Emmet, we'll start with you. Did you watch the City game, and what did you think of it?
I was watching that game with one eye in succession with the other, so my eyes are just coming back to normal here. So I watched a bit of it. I thought, oh, that's it, City are kind of going to run away with it, but you can never kind of rule Madrid out. And going into the second leg, 4-3, I don't think City can afford to take it lightly, especially going to the Bernabeu. So I wouldn't be able to pass comment on too much on it because I didn't see too much of it. It was more so just the goals hop on when the messages start flying in the WhatsApp, but I'm sure the other lads are watching it.
Yeah, I'm gutted I started with you, so Emma. Chris, did you watch the match?
No, I didn't watch it. I was joking. Yeah.
What did you make of it? I didn't watch it either. I just put my hands up. So
it was a mental game. The first half was a bit like our game at the Etihad. City, look, it just 2-0 up in about 10 minutes, and you thought, fuck's sake, they're going to bully this away and have like a cushy second leg. But Madrid they just won't go away. They just kept finding their way. Benzema makes it 2-1, really good finish. And City gained 3-1 up with 38-year-old Fernandinho up right back. And then within a minute, Vinicius tear pass in 3-2. Bernardo Silva scores a goal because the keeper decides to duck. It's a good hit, but the keeper ducks, which is great. And then just to add to it, 10 minutes to go, Benzema with balls of steel just Penencas it down the middle. So, all in all, it was a good game. Madrid will be more happy than City, I would say, because City had the chances to put 6 past Madrid comfortably, maybe more. But Madrid just kept themselves in the tie. And you do wonder with City and what they're like in Europe at times, will that play on the mind? It's only a 1-goal lead, so they can't really take the foot off the gas. And, look at the bench there. There weren't as many options on the bench as I was expecting for City, to be honest. They still have Grealish, still have Gundogan, but there's an awful lot of kids on that City bench, more than I was expecting. And, City's injury crisis of Walker and Cancelo be suspended, don't know, made a bit more of it than what they should have done. Stones went off injured, which is a bit of a shame, but Ederson, both keepers though weren't great. Ederson tried to repeat what Stefan did a couple of times, nearly got caught. But both keepers, 1-on-1, they were just terrible. So good entertaining game. Look, I'm not going to lie, I'd rather Madrid go through the City. I just can't be asked playing English sides. So, if we get past Villarreal, I'd rather play Real Madrid.
Okay, well, I mean, I had it taped, so there's no point in watching it now.
There you go. Well, don't ask then.
I'm only messing. I wouldn't watch it if it was being played in my back garden. Ash, welcome back. Good to have you on. Did you watch the match and what did you make of it?
I didn't know. I was flicking in and out of the game, keeping an eye on it, obviously, with a view of who we might get in the final. Again, I was saying to Chris before we come on, look good going forward, but defensively, both teams look so frail. I wouldn't have no issues playing against any of these two in the final, to be fair. The quality we've got and what they had to offer tonight, I haven't got any issue. I'd rather play Real Madrid. I think we 0-1 over the last few years in the Champions League, in the final and the quarters. I don't want to play Man City again, as Chris was saying. I think they're due a win at some point in the season against us, laws of averages and things like that. So I'd rather not go down that route again. Good game, 7 goals, you can't complain. And like I said, I think if it stayed at 4-2, then I think Man City could take the foot off the gas a little bit ahead of next week. But having that extra goal from Madrid certainly keeps them in the tie and keeps it a bit more interesting.
Indeed, I mean, people would say, "Oh, we're too cocky looking ahead to a final when we have a semi-final coming up ourselves." But look, we're a fan channel of Liverpool, so we're going to talk about Liverpool now in the next few minutes. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be worried about playing any team, and Liverpool on their day are as good as anybody in the world. And it's when we're not on our day that we get caught. It's when we're not on our day that Madrid gave us a spanking last year. It's when we're not on our day that we're giving City leads and head starts, or momentum in games and having to claw them back. But overall, I think, whoever we play, if we get past, and put it this way, I'm more worried about a two-legged tie against Villarreal than I would be against a one-off game with Real Madrid or Man City. And that might sound a bit ridiculous, but you've all touched on it there. Again, I didn't watch the match tonight, but, you're getting alerts and you're getting WhatsApp notifications and following some of the stuff online. It did seem like shambolic defending, and City were actually, unlucky not to be 6 or 7 up at half time. But, at the end of the day, whatever they do, they do. I'm just happy, as the lads have touched on there, that City didn't get to run up a 3 or 4 goal lead, even a 2 goal lead, and then be comfortable at the weekend, because you want Leeds to put them under a bit of pressure, but City to still have one eye on the return leg there. So look, I suppose it couldn't have gone much better. The reality is, City probably always likely to win, but when they go into a 2 goal lead that early and got pegged back, psychologically it is going to be in their heads and in their minds. But look, as this again, I'll say this again 100 times, I do not give a shit who we play if we get to the final. Once we get to the final, the fear factor kicks in, but you don't want to lose. Listen, you have to be there, you know what I mean? I'd rather be in the big ones than worrying about losing. So we'll move on from them tonight. Tomorrow night, Liverpool play Villarreal. I'm not going to say I'm worried about it, but I expect Liverpool should have enough. But this is the type of tie, Chris, that I fucking hate, because Villarreal are an excellent team, but people judge them on their name and not being a big team. These are a good side. And I'm worried about the tactics. They've got a great manager, despite what people would say based on his time at Arsenal. They have a great manager who knows what to do in European knockout competitions. And these are going to be tricky.
Yeah, they're like Atletico. The sort of side that Liverpool hate playing against. And in terms of Embry, what he's really good at is getting unfancied, sometimes perceived average sides to European finals and European semi-finals. He did it 3 times with Seville. Villarreal, no one fancied them probably to get out the group. So they got into a semi-final. And he got Arsenal to a European final, which, let's be fair, doesn't happen very often for Arsenal. It's just that unfortunately they were crap anyway. So, they focus on the fact they lost the final. They did well to get there with him. So he's a good manager. But in looking back, the Everton game might have been a bit of a good blueprint for us, because they're going to be very similar to Everton. Obviously, much better players, but it's that game plan, and it's saying to Marnie, don't start sticking your finger in people's faces. Don't fall for those sort of silly notions. But look, they've got some good players though. Pau Torres is an excellent centre back. How much longer he'll stay in Spain, I don't know. Because I think he could play in England. I think he'd be a good player. Dan Juma, good player. Moreno being missing is a big help for us. And the guy in centre mid, who's Parjo. That's him. I knew I'd bastardize his name.
Yeah,
he's the key.
He's the bollocks of that, didn't you?
Yeah, he is the key though. He is brilliant on the ball. Really, really good. Really dangerous. But they've also got players you could target. Foyth, who wasn't great at.
I like him.
I don't rate him at all.
He's Argentinian. I like all Argentinians.
Yeah, Lo Celso.
South American.
Another Argentinian. Big fan.
Also shit at Tottenham. There's a theme here. Coquelin shit at Arsenal, and Capu.
Shit at Tottenham. Was he at Tottenham?
Shit at Tottenham. There's like there's a Tottenham. There's a very Tottenham North London link there. So, look, I think over 2 legs we should be getting past these, but I'm not expecting it to be like silly scores or anything like that. It's going to be tight, and I'd like to go there the way like with a 2-goal gap, but that's going to be a bit of that. I think that's going to be tough to do. But I'll be going the game, so fingers crossed. It'd be nice to actually see us win a European semi-final on there.
Well, there you go. Boaster, bragging.
Ash,
are you going to the game, are you?
I'm not going to the game. I just said nice was the fact that he's lucky enough to go to the semi-finals.
Yeah, I know.
I like us.
He deserves it, he deserves it. He puts in all the graft. But Ash, Villarreal, they're a tough team. Are you worried? Do you agree with Chris that we do probably need to run up a couple of goal lead going into the second leg, or would you be happy with any result that comes out once we're on the positive side of it tomorrow?
It reminds me a little bit of when we played Roma a few years ago. Wasn't expected to be in the semi-finals. Got there because obviously they had a good season. Again, typically not a big team, so you expect Liverpool to go out and win, but at the same time, you've got to be cautious because Villarreal are there for a reason. You can't underestimate them. Again, as Chris was saying, they've got good players. On paper, you would think we'd go there at Anfield tomorrow, get 3, maybe 4, settle the tie, and that's it, job done. But you can't take anything for granted, even in the semi-finals. I would happily take a 2-0 tomorrow, go to Villarreal next week, and then that's it. I'll take a 1-0. I don't care. As long as we win, I think we've still got enough to go over there next week and complete the job. But as a Liverpool...
Sorry, I'm laughing at Red Steve's comments, getting me going.
That's one for you, Keith.
Brentford are an extremely well-oiled machine, continental, and in case I didn't mention it, I actually seen them live not too long ago.
Was it like seeing Ivan Toney? Were you made up?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was great. Very good. I get too much stick over that Brentford. That was my son's first game. Bringing me boy to his first game, it meant a lot. Fuck yous all. I don't care. We can talk about it. I've been to a lot worse than that. Let me tell you.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. But no, look, joking aside, I don't mind a little bit of crack. That's fine. But yeah, sorry, Ash, where were we before Chris so rudely interrupted?
That's all right.
I'll be quiet.
And like I said, I'll happily take a 1-0 I still believe no matter what the result is, I've got enough confidence in the team that we'll go over there and finish the job next week. But it's not going to be easy, no matter what. They're there for a reason, Villarreal. So take it as it comes.
Exactly. Emmet, Villarreal, are you worried?
I'd like to have a time machine because when the draw came out, I was absolutely delighted. Then I think I was on this last week, and Chris and Kev started talking about Villarreal, and I was like, oh, thank God they know something about them because I know nothing about them. Then Gav messaged me this morning and said, are you around tonight? I said, yeah. He said, preview of the Villarreal game. I said, well, I better get studying because I know all. So I went.
What's the population of Villarreal?
No, I think it's only 50,000 or something, isn't it? The population.
Tiny,
yeah,
it's tiny, yeah.
But then I looked at some of the stats and I was like, oh shit, hang on. So I do like the others. I think we will have enough, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as easy as I thought it was going to be. Like Chris said, they are a bit of a Atletico. They'll sit back and try and get you on the break. They have got pace. I think not like Everton on one wing. They probably have it on both wings. And they run an awful lot as well, which I was actually surprised when I looked. They've actually, on average, per game, run more than we have in the Champions League this year. So that was the first one that kind of jumped out at me. Like Ash said, they're there for a reason. They've had some great luck. I mean, Bayern Munich and Juventus, they've knocked out. And we also have to remember that in 2005, we were the Villarreal. So I think, look, the lads will have their homework done on them. Klopp will set them up well. I think we're going to have enough. I think we'll probably win by 2 goals tomorrow. I'm not giving me predictions just yet, just 2 goals. And hopefully take a little bit of pressure off with Saturday. I know it's a quick turnaround with the Newcastle game. Maybe rest a few and then just have that little bit of breathing space going into the second leg. But I'm a little bit more nervous now than I was before, but I reckon we'll still get over the line.
Yeah, I mean, people might accuse us of being too cautious and it's only Villarreal. And I hope the players we know won't have that attitude. But, I don't want the Liverpool fan base to get too swept up. I'm going to predict we're going to beat them like 4-0, but I always predict things like that. But the reality is...
You do
the reality is, like, these are going to be a good team because if I don't know what their injury and suspension situation might be at the moment, but you're probably looking at Geronimo Rulli in goal. You're going to see Pau Torres and Raul Albiol at the back. You'll have, I don't know who the fullbacks are. One fight on the right, and then the left is
Stupinian.
the Peru or the Ecuadorian fella. And he's a good player as well. He's in because Albi Moreno's unfortunately not going to be there. But their midfield, this is where the Atletico team comes in, I think. You're going to have 4 central midfield players playing across a 4-man midfield. So they usually have Lo Celso and surprisingly Coquelin on a wing and Capoue and Parejo in the middle. Now, Parejo is a great player. He's a brilliant player. They got him on an absolute steal off Valencia. I think it could have been free because Valencia had to clear their decks and they went and took him off there. He's a playmaker. He's going to love being on the ball. And it's vital that we don't give him the time on the ball. Now, up front, Gerard Moreno was going to be a huge loss. Absolutely vital. He's got the know-how when he gets the goals. They will have, I don't know who they're going to play up there now.
It's the former Barcelona,
or something, isn't it?
Is it Chukwueze and Danjuma, isn't it, I would imagine?
No. Well, Chukwueze and Danjuma will be 2 wingers, so they're going to have a forward because he play 4-4-2, don't they? So who's the...
Oh, it's the guy who's played for Madrid. Barcelona, sorry. Let me Google
they played 4-4-2.
Paco Alcacer.
He's a different player to Moreno. He doesn't link as well, but he's a poacher.
Yeah, he's a poacher, but... You know, I'm glad it's not Moreno. Put it that way.
No,
I think it will be him plus one of Danjuma and Chukwueze, and I think it'll be Danjuma. Chukwueze will be a player that they'll bring on. You know, on paper it's not a strong team. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't have anything to worry about. But the reality is they're going to be a good team because Unai Emery, good evening. Do you know what I mean? He gets so much abuse and gets so much stick. Because he didn't have the language down to a T. Do you know what I mean? I gave him stick. Everyone gave him stick.
Yeah.
He's excellent. These are the defending UEFA Cup holders, aren't they? One for the kids there. The UEFA Cup is an old tournament. It's now called the Europa League. One for the... Have a Google. Go on to Wikipedia about it. Great days of the UEFA Cup.
It's much better as the UEFA Cup, though.
I love the UEFA Cup. Yeah, I have to say I love the UEFA Cup. But Unai Emery has won that, I don't know what, 4 times?
Yeah.
Like
he's got one over on us as well, though, didn't he? When they beat us in the final of the UEFA Cup.
Yeah. And battered us. Let's be clear. Second half, absolutely battered us.
We were absolute gig second half.
Hasn't beaten us since, though.
No, and we are a different beast than what we were. You know, so I'm not going to base me prediction on the fact that they beat us once 4 or 5 years ago. But they're going to be a good team. They're going to be a tough team. They're going to be a hard team to break down. The reality is we're a strong team with plenty of options and we should really have enough, shouldn't we? So, I mean, I'm going to pick Parejo as their danger man, right? Because, as I said, he's going to be a ball player. He's going to be the one that gets on the ball and knits everything. Have any of you got any other players that you think need to be watched or...
Danjuma's probably the one, isn't he? He's the exciting footballer. You'd think he was at Bournemouth, was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, linked with us, wasn't he?
Yeah, you can see why. He's a talented guy. You know, and people forget
a top scorer in the Champions League as well.
Yeah, people forget that Villarreal used to be a staple of the Champions League. It used to always be a right ball like in the early 2000s going to Villarreal. I think Arsenal beat them in their last semi-final in 2006, I think it was.
They knocked the Everton as well, didn't they, in the qualifiers?
Yeah. They're a horrible side. They're a horrible side to play. I think we've luckily only ever played them twice, and that was in the Europa League in 2016. That's the only time we played them. So,
we had 1-3-1, didn't we? I think
that's the one. Yeah. But I think Danjuma's the danger man for them. He's just pace and look. He's not afraid for a shot either. So it'd be interesting to see who we play centre back. Whether we go with Matip or we bring the pace of Canate back in.
Well, and that is a question, Emmet, isn't it? You know, like Danjuma does play out to that side where Trent is, and we all know, look, Trent is brilliant. I love Trent, but he leaves gaps in there behind. And are you going to have to look at Canate's pace, or is that too not insulting on Matip, but Matip's know-how might be enough there, you know, in an inexperienced team in Villarreal. So can you see Liverpool maybe looking at that side as a threat, or do we just look at our own, take care of our own business and not really?
Yeah, look, I think anytime Konate has come in, he's always covered Trent really well with his pace. Like you might even see something mental like Gomez playing right back because of pace as well and defending now. Not suggesting that he has more know-how than Trent. I'm not falling into that trap. Yeah, they will. I would imagine, because they're going to look to play on the break and they have got fast lads on the wings, they're going to look to aim for that space that Robbo and Trent actually leave as they push forward. Most teams do. But I think Konate probably has more of the power and pace to actually cover Trent on that side than maybe Matip has. But look, we've said it loads of times before. The team comes out and it's either Matip or Konate. We're not going to be too pushed. But I think he goes Konate tomorrow, personally.
Yeah, and that's a luxury that we have at the moment, Ash, isn't it? That, you know, in times gone by, we've been nearly patching together the team and hoping for the best, but now we've got genuine options. Look, Trent is going to play. We know that. I get what Emmet is saying, but genuinely could switch up the centre backs. Genuinely, you know, people won't like to hear it, but you could have Henderson in there to help Trent out in the midfield. You know, there's so many options that we can throw at these now. We're in a good place, you know, but we just have to take it serious and not be complacent.
I completely agree, mate. I think you look back what happened 12 months ago, and we were all scratching our asses trying to get two central defenders together, and now all of a sudden we've got options left, right, and centre. And like I said, it's the luxury we've now got. Trent's a given. He's going to be playing tomorrow. No way on earth would he not play. Again, Robbo, without a doubt. But now, would anyone have too many complaints if Tsimikas coming? Probably not. You know, he's always done a good job when he's coming. But Robbo's Robbo. He's gonna be picked, isn't he? I would second what Emmet said. I would go with Konate. Simple reason is his pace. That's no disrespect to Big Joel, but he's got the power, he's got the pace. And I don't know if this is right or not, but has Konate played more Champions League games than Matip this season?
I'll tell you now. I have it here in front of me. He started 5, and Matip has started 7.
All right, sorry. I always seem like Konate seems to be always in the Champions League squad, but the Matip's always in the Prem. But I would play Konate, like I said, and I think 2-2 in the last Champions League games as well, Konate. So I won't mind getting him back on his bonds again tomorrow. That'd be nice. But like I said, I don't think any of us can complain whoever he picks in that team. We're just absolutely riddled with talent and options, and whoever he picks tomorrow, bring it on. I've got no complaints at all.
Indeed. Chris, we're looking at Liverpool in the business end of the season now. So we've got a semi-final of a Champions League to come. We've got an important game about Newcastle, and we'll talk about that one in a few minutes as well, and the repercussions on that. It's all coming thick and fast. Do you know what I mean? It's all coming thick and fast now. And we just said about City, you know, not being able to take that eye off the ball by getting their result tomorrow. Do Liverpool have to do this? Do Liverpool need to get a comfortable win tomorrow night to be able to look at Newcastle? Or do you think Klopp has a plan set down now that Villarreal, even if we draw this, for example, on the weekend, we're going to play Tsimikas, he's going to sort of plot his squads no matter what happens? Or do you think it's sort of each game as it comes and see how we get on in this one before he looks to the next one?
I think he's got his squad already planned out for Newcastle. I do wonder if he sees the opportunity to win it in the first leg, he will do, because then he can then go, right, we can probably mix up a little bit more than we can mix up a bit less against Newcastle. But I could see the Newcastle game having 5 to 6 changes, which is good. Which I'm sure when it comes out social media, everyone's going to lose the shit, because that's the dumb thing you do now when the team comes out. But at some point, you're going to have to rotate. But it's who we can rotate at the moment, because the 2 players I thought would come in would be Bobby and Tsimikas at the weekend, but both are apparently absent from training. So that might be we're not going to go to do it. I'm just quite looking forward. We'll go to a European Cup semi-final, and we haven't got Ben Woodburn on the bench. I think it's the first time ever we've not had Ben Woodburn on the bench, which is the state we used to always be in these semi-finals. You're going. It was, we were trying to talk up Brewster against Barcelona last time. He might come on and win it for us, and the lad never played. Whereas now we'll look at the bench going, well, we might have to throw in Jota and Origi if we need a goal. It's just it's a different world in 12 months.
I was looking at the I think it was the 1981 European Cup semi-final with Liverpool and Bayern, and Ben Woodburn was sneaking on the end of the bench as well there. So I take your point. But it is a good point, because the thing about Liverpool now is the options are there, and no matter what way we go with this, you've got a forward. Let's take it that Bobby isn't available. We've got forwards that are going to miss out, that are going to be hungry to come on, that can impact the game. We're going to have a midfielder, one of four, I would say, who have now sort of placed themselves as the forced choices. The others sort of coming in here and there. So someone is going to be on the bench. The squad is being used now, and I don't know, was it yourself, Chris, that said about Man City's bench tonight was just full of kids, and we won't be in that situation other than by choice, and it's not a bad place to be.
I mean, listen, they still had the first four subs they have are regular first years, your Grealish, your Sterling, so that. But beyond that, you were going, it was quite deep with kids, which is, to be honest, City have not had that for a while. Normally, City, you're looking at going like. It's like someone of the talent of Mahrez, the equivalent. He's sat on the bench and doesn't even get on the pitch. Whereas I think they're just, like all squads, they're probably just going for that little bit of an evolution. I've no doubt they'll probably address that in the summer. They normally do. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this, because it's been, the other thing I would say is it's a really low-key build-up for a Champions League semi-final. And I think that's just because we're in so many competitions now. I think as fans, you can't really look too far ahead, because you're like, there's no point looking at the Champions League, because we need to be United first. We need to be Everton. Whereas, I suppose in the other Champions League, some of the other Champions League semi-finals, there's been a bit of a nicer build-up, because you're going like, well, there's not as much excitement to play for, so you actually really focus on it, because it's like, that's what I'm looking forward to. Whereas, to me, the Newcastle game is just as scary as the Villarreal game at the moment, because you're like, can't afford dropping anything. So, it's quite nice, but I must say, this is far more fun than the old race for fourth, which was stressful and dull. This is brilliant. I'll take this every season. Being at this end of the season, with a bit of jeopardy, it's great.
Yeah, but Emmet, it's true, isn't it?
Yeah, you're in a good position when it's like, oh yeah, it's a semi-final of the Champions League. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I know that sounds incredibly arrogant, but you know what I mean?
No, come here. I feel exactly the same. It's like exactly like you said. There's so much to concentrate on that you kind of nearly forget about the next one. So, look, and come here, it's the last night under the lights in Champions League in Anfield this season.
Yeah.
So you've seen a few calls on Twitter from people saying, look, let's make it loud and let's make a racket. It's the last one you're going to see this season. So, look, I wouldn't want to be Villarreal. I wouldn't want to be any team going to Anfield on a Champions League night. So,
and that's a key thing, isn't it? Like, I think the crowd need to play their part, because you don't tend to win a game in the first leg, but teams have gone to Anfield, ideally in the second leg. But even in the first leg of games, Roma, for example, someone mentioned earlier, and you can really be unsettled, and really, the Liverpool and Man City are another one, can take a game away from you very quickly, and a raucous crowd can help that, can't they, Emma?
Yeah, 100%. Where we go, we were, the last Benfica. When I turned it on and I saw the crowd, and I was like, oh my God, like, do you know what I mean? And the noise of them, and they thought, oh, I hope this doesn't get to the players. Like, but it didn't get to theirs, obviously, but it can get to players. And look, we have the unfortunate thing where we have to go to them second. Ideally, we like to have Anfield leg second, but I've no doubt in my mind, even though they've only 50,000 people in the city, I would say 99% of them probably be at the game and making as much noise and trying to make it as hostile an environment as possible for when we rock up next week. But yeah, definitely, it's 12th man. It's where the saying comes from. Like, do you know what I mean? I thought you were going to say you can't win a game in the first leg, but you can. Some teams have lost them in the first leg.
Very true. Did you say VPN there? It's funny you should mention that. I get a lot of stick from
Seamless.
me. What a
Seamless.
segue. I get a lot of stick from me IP Vanish read through. Not sorry, ad lib.
Me
I'm not
too.
gonna read it. I'm not gonna read it tonight. I'm just gonna say, you know, look, we all know what VPNs do. We all know you search, you browse, you might be looking at the dirty stuff, whatever. It's not hidden away. It's still all your data is tracked, your information is still there. You know, if you want to keep it away from the baddies online, get yourself a VPN. And if you're going for a VPN, go for IP Vanish. IP Vanish are offering a 70%. An incredible 70% off their yearly plan to our listeners, or a 30-day money back guarantee. I did read that, but that's like getting 9 months for free, which is brilliant. And you can't go wrong with that. And look, IP Vanish, a lot of people have VPNs and things like that. So we all know what they are. They're easy to use. They're important in this day and age. And people that may not know, you know, I don't need this, I don't need that. If you're online and you're doing a lot of stuff online, I'm only joking about all the dirty stuff around, but shopping and things like that, like your information is going all over the place. And it's good to try and have as much control on it as you can. So if you're in the market for a VPN, or you have a VPN, you're looking to change it up, give IP Vanish a go. Like I said, 70% off our yearly plan. You'll find the details. So go to ipvanish.com/daytrippers. Exclusive offer. And the link's also in the show description. So I won't read the whole thing out today. We'll leave it at that. I think I've done well there. I'm not going to lie.
Great salesman there, Keith. Great
I
salesman.
enjoyed me segue into that. I think I sold it well. But no, seriously, IP Vanish, get on them, give them a go. Where were we? Oh, yeah, VPNs.
Atmospheres.
Atmosphere is key because, you know, we've seen teams now. Villarreal do have an excellent atmosphere in their place as well, you know. So it's not like we're gonna have this atmosphere and we can kill them. They're gonna be used to volatile environments, hostility, things like that. But we really have to really put a marker down on them. Now, we played them a few years ago in the Europa League. It's a different team. It's a totally different group of players, manager, blah, blah, blah. They came in quite arrogant and confident into that. But they're going to come in tomorrow night. They're going to set their stall out. They're going to be defensive. They're going to sit back. They're going to try and grind out as much as they can. I'm going to ask you, we've it's still a good bit to go on the show. But I'm going to ask you for your predicted lineups, okay? We're going to go through who we think will play and what system or what way we're going to attack this game. So, Chris, I'm going to start with you.
Oh, I knew you say that.
All right, do you want a minute?
Yeah, because I can't decide in the midfield. There's about
all right, Ash, I'm going to start with you.
Right, okay.
Give us your predicted lineup, who you think will play, and how you think the game, the way Liverpool are going to approach the game, and how they're going to attack the game.
I think going back to obviously what we talked about, Newcastle being a thing for Saturday, the 5 subs is a massive for tomorrow night.
Yeah,
you know, and I think that's the reason why we'll go so strong tomorrow. So my team would be Ali in goal, obviously, Trent, Kanate, Verge, and Robbo in defence. Midfield, this is where it can get complicated, as Chris is stalling on. I would go with Fabinho, Thiago, and I'll probably go with Hendo, because I think when he come on, he actually brought a bit more urgency to the game against Everton. He looks pretty decent when he come on for his spell. I think it's a Champions League semi-finals. Why would you leave out the captain for the Champions League semi-finals? So I think those 3 would be the midfield, and then up front, obviously Mo. Sadio's absolutely killing it as a number 9 in the centre, and just because of the audacity and the touch that Diaz did on Sunday, I'll absolutely let him go wild tomorrow night. Show us what you can do, son. You know, let him off the leash and just let him do whatever he wants. And I think that plays into why the 5 subs will be so handy, because I reckon we go quick, fast, try and wrap it up within 60 minutes, and then make the changes. Get the players off, get Mo off, get Thiago, Hendo, even Diaz, whatever that looks like. Get them rested, half hour off, job done, boys. On to Newcastle on Sunday. But I'm just hoping, you know, if it doesn't go our way, that the crowd don't get a bit restless. I think they need to play their part. Like Emmet was saying, it's the last game under the lights tomorrow at Anfield. You would want a good reception, the crowd to be absolutely buzzing, rocking, 12th man, and a repeat of the Barcelona game. I know it's not the same. You know, we're not trying to claw back a 3-0 deficit, but you really want to get right on their backs. You know, show them what we're made of, and yeah, hopefully, absolutely smash them, and then go over there next week and be a bit more relaxed. Hopefully.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Chris, are you ready for your team now, or do you want me to ask Emma?
I'll let Emma do it. Go on.
Emma, how do you see the lads lining up?
I've got Alisson, Trent, Konate, Van Dijk, Robbo, Fabinho, Thiago, Keita, Salah, Mane, Diaz, and I would go with Diaz because himself and Origi, when he came on Sunday, changed the game. I just think he gives a defense that's going to sit back, he'll go at them. I think he gives them a little bit more to think about than maybe Jota would out on the left. Mane on fire. I just hope that they don't start the dark arts and he will react. He's had to be taken off a few times at this stage now on a yellow. Yeah. And what he did at the weekend was, I thought, was stupid. Like, although it wasn't like Kevin Campbell said, oh, he's gouged him in the eye there. It was like he kind of touched his nose and pushed him back. Like, it's not an eye gouge. But I just think you can't leave Salah and Mane out. So yeah, like I said, go at them. I think, and I said the other night as well that I thought at the start of the second half we kind of nearly allowed them to have the ball to come at us. And I heard somebody else saying that Klopp kind of nearly calls off the dogs for 10-minute periods. So I don't think we go full pelt like we used to go. We will kind of go in stages, and then ease off. But yeah, get a lead up, and then make the changes. I get what you're saying there, Ash, about how do you leave your captain out of a Champions League semi-final, but I don't think, I'm not 100% sure sentiment comes into it when you're going for everything. He's done it,
and Klopp's done it before, hasn't he? Because Barcelona away, Henson doesn't start.
Yeah. So and he's a good player to have for Saturday as well if you are looking to rotate. So yeah, I think it'll be, and I think probably over the last while, Fabinho, Thiago, and Keita have probably been our best midfield three. So I think he goes that strong and then rotates with a lead.
It's like, sorry to interrupt. Sorry, Keith. I'm doing a now. Sorry to interrupt. I just feel it's just got Roma like written all over it again. It just feels like that all over again. You know, it's a smaller team compared to normal, and I just think we're just going to go out there and just absolutely blitz them for the first half hour, try and get such a big lead, and then just play our game. I'm just getting Roma vibes over and over and over again. I don't know why. I'll take the same result, but that's what I'm just feeling at the moment.
So I'll send you a few stats that'll knock that out of you.
But you think, Ash, that playing Henderson over Keita gives you that better chance to sort of put the foot on the throat there?
I think it allows Trent to be further forward because, like you said, when he's so far in advance, he leaves gaps, doesn't he? And if is Danjuma on the left, is he directly on Trent's side?
Yeah, he sort of pulls to the left there.
Yeah, I think with Trent being so attacking and so forward up the pitch, you need someone like a Henderson who does play those pockets and covers him. So I think that's why that's the incentive to bring Hendo in. Because I don't know if you saw it on BT, he done an interview with Rio, didn't he, a few weeks ago? And he was talking about when Trent's in certain positions up the pitch, he's in the small pockets behind, covering at right back and allowing Trent to have that freedom. And I think if Villarreal are going to be sitting back and playing men behind the ball and hitting us on the break, then you're going to need someone like a Trent to be there whipping the balls in and so forward up the pitch. Then I think that's why Hendo will play.
That's a fair point. I mean, I think that's the sort of maybe the key in how we approach it is we see which one of those two does start. Because before we come on to Chris's team, if we even let him pick a team at this stage,
Pick one for Newcastle while you're at it.
yeah. I just think I agree with what Ash is saying there about Jordan Henderson. I think the work he does covering for Trent is vital. However, I think Keita, with his pressing, can really get in among their midfield. And I spoke about Parejo earlier, and I think, you know, if you play Trent and you put pressure on Parejo at the sort of the start of their plays, you can get a lot more, you know, you can really hurt them a lot more. So I think it'll be interesting to see which of the two he goes with. But Chris Brack, which of the two are you going with?
Well, Red Steve's got my team.
Oh, I was after all that build up, and you're just making me read out Red Steve's team. Bracky, Laws, Roberts, Fatty. Never heard of them. Next.
the league title winners. What more can you want?
No, yeah. To the ladies.
Yeah, that was good fun on Sunday as well. That was a perfect Sunday. So back four and front three, I agree with. I think Henson does start for the simple reason he's done the press today, and it's pretty much a done deal. If you do the post match, if you do the press with Klopp, you're starting. I think Thiago does start. The one I'm debating, and it'll sound mad, is Fabinho. He's played an awful lot of football, and if this is a game where we're going to dominate the ball and be on top, maybe that's what they want Henson as a six, so you can have Keita and Thiago push further on. I think you'll probably pump for Fabinho, but it wouldn't surprise me if Keita started over Fabinho. That's the one I've been debating over.
But then that's when the 5 subs could come into handy, though, couldn't it? You know,
it could very much, but yeah.
That's very true. Yeah, the 5 subs is key, because if he was to do that, if Klopp was to have a madness and not play Fabinho, it could be a case of use the lads. I mean, people would lose their shit over that, and you know, Henderson can do that job. Thiago, Keita. I mean, you go in there with confidence, so I don't see why not. I don't know. I think he's more likely to start Fabinho maybe, and if he wants to use the 5 subs, might take him out if we're on top and then go for it. But it'll be interesting to see. I think you'd be looking at Alisson in goal. I would agree with the sort of I'd agree with Kanate, Van Dijk, Trent, and Robbo. I would start Fabinho. I would start Keita, and I would start Thiago. I was going to say Hendo. That's actually where I think the debate is, Hendo or Thiago. Not that Thiago's, Jesus, I'd watch him all day, but I think he's going to manage him a bit more.
Yeah, it's the minutes you got to worry about with him, isn't it?
And you don't, with the 5 subs, I think you can walk a lot more, you know, especially at home, and you hope to get a lead up. That might be the way to do it. But I'd go with Fabinho, Thiago, Keita. And I would go with, I wouldn't start Mane. I'd leave Mane off. I'd go with Mo, Jota, and Diaz up front. And the reason I would do that is because you touched on it earlier. I would hold Mane back because I think teams target him. I think Atletico Madrid done it earlier in the season. They went ridiculous about targeting him. I think it's not that he overly reacts, but I just think there's something in it that teams seem to look at him, and I would hold him back. I would say whatever forwards we put out there. I mean, Mane to me is the one on form, but I would use him as the impact off the bench. Do you know what I mean? I would do that. But look, I'm not picking the team. I'm not Jurgen Klopp. I'm getting stick in the chat for dropping Thiago, but it's not about dropping Thiago, and that's the thing. Like,
I'm getting stick for saying resting Fabinho. I'm not saying it's managing minutes, and that's what Klopp
exactly.
will do.
But the beauty of the squad now is, you know, put it this way: if Divock starts, is anyone going apeshit? I'm not.
No,
because
we're quite.
I would question it. I would question it if personally. I'm not. That's nothing against Divock because he's obviously a legend. But would you pick him over Diaz? Would you pick him over Jota? Would you pick him over Mane?
He's a better sub, but
yeah, he is a better sub. I think he's not a great starter. But you know, Klopp, Divock is the type of player that the year we won the Champions League, he just had that second half of the season. You know, he comes in for the derby, isn't that his first game? Comes in, scores the goal, and then just sort of runs through. He got a big goal the weekend. Could be his last goal for Liverpool, but I wouldn't be surprised if Klopp sort of rolled that dice again. Do you know what I mean? And maybe rested a couple of other lads. I wouldn't be surprised. And the beauty of having this squad now is you can do these things, and we're not all, well, people will lose their shit if Divock starts, but if you sit back and think about it, you know, we've got a squad. Klopp will be starting them because he thinks he can do a job. He's not starting them out of necessity. He's starting them because he tactically thinks he might be able to do something in it. So we're in a lovely position going into this, you know, for this end of the season. Fingers crossed it stays that way. We're shaping up nice, and whatever way we line up these teams, I don't really care. Do you know what I mean? There's not many players in there that you'd look at and say, no, not him. So whatever we do, you don't want 6 or 7 changes, don't get me wrong, but whatever we do, we'll be happy enough. Give me a score prediction each years and goal scorers, you know the rules, and then we'll have a little chat about Newcastle. Chris, I'm going to come to you first. You're getting no time to prepare this after that carry on the last time. Just get bleeding red Steve to give me your answer.
2-0, Salah double.
2-0, jeez. Emmet.
Well, I can't pick 2-0 now, so I'll have to pick 3-1. And I'll go all front 3. Salah, Mane, Diaz to score.
Excellent. Ash.
Wow, he's buggered that up for me. I was going to say 3-1.
You have to go 5-2 because you keep getting Roma vibes.
That's true. That's true. Do you know what? I'm going to say 4-1. I'm going to go for Salah, Diaz. I reckon Verge and also Thiago. And I think Danjuma will get one for Villarreal.
Good stuff, good stuff. My brother in the chat, he's not having a bar of this. Pick 11 names out of a hat and they'll be Villarreal. But he's not having Divock. Listen, the boys will do the business no matter who we put in there. I think we're going to win 4-0. I always think we're going to win 4-0. I don't think they're going to get a goal against us. I don't think they have the minerals to get a goal against us. I think it will be tough. No, I think it'll be tough. I think it will be tough. If I ever predict, like, for a little, I'll give it a little insight, right? Don't tell anyone, right? If I predict 4-0, in the real world, I think it'll be 2-0. If I ever predict, like, 6-1, that's 3-1.
What was your 10-0 one?
10-0, that's a nice 5-0. Or a 6-0. That's a good shellacking. But if I ever go like 2-1, then I'm thinking we're gonna draw. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go with a 4-0 here. I think we're gonna win 4-0. So 2-0 really. But I think we're gonna have Diaz. I think we're gonna have Kanate. I think we're gonna have Trent and Mo. That's who I think will get the goals. We're gonna win 4-0. I think Alisson's gonna make a huge save in the game.
Because he always does. He loves a big save in Europe.
Yeah, that's his thing. He loves a big save all the time. And I just think, you know, we can get out. I think the game is going to go similar to other games previously. I think by starting Naby Keita, I think we're going to put the foot on the throat of them. I think we're going to try and start fast and we're going to try and get into them. And I think we're going to go, look, Man City went 2-0 up early tonight. Real Madrid came back, but that was more calamitous defending by the teams. Apparently this will be Liverpool, I think, with the crowd. Probably the last game. There'll be other games on the lights, won't there, this season? There'll be Spurs. Southampton will be jammed in there as well. But I think it's, as you say, the last Champions League. Crowd need to be up for it. I think we come out of traps flying, and I think we do get a 4-0. And we take that over to Villarreal. And look, I don't mean that to be disrespectful to Villarreal. I think they're a good team. I think they're a dangerous team. But if we'd have got a goal early against Everton, and I know if my auntie had balls, she'd be my uncle. But if we could have got, I think we'd have ran in a hat load against them. I think we'd have absolutely buried them. But they held in, and then they crumbled. Villarreal, I think, will be much better, version than that. Don't get me wrong. But I think if you can score early on these teams, I think you can really, really knock them out. And I think defensive teams find it very hard to get back into a game. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think if you're like Real Madrid are not a defensive team, they're an attacking team. So they went 2 down and they just attack. I think when you get ahead of, like Atletico in Anfield this season, when you get ahead of these teams, they're very, very hard for them to get back. So I think that the emphasis will be on Liverpool to go at them early. I think we'll go into an early 2-0 lead, and then I think it'll draw them out, and I think we'll kill them on the break. But I don't think I've got a prediction right ever, so it's probably not what's going to happen.
Do you think with the way Villarreal play, if we got 1 goal, they'd break their plan and actually come out and try and get a goal? Or would they be happy with just losing 1-0?
Yeah.
And try and hold out?
Yeah.
I think Unai Emery would have enough faith in himself to manage that. Whether they do or not, but I don't think 1 goal is going to bother them. I think they'll sit in their shape as much as they can. And I think if you do that on a team like a low block team, and they're a really good low block team, so not Everton again, but you look at the Atletico Madrids and you look at Chelsea's and you look at these elite defensive teams, you go 1-0 up, they don't tend to change. But if you can get 2 early goals on them, even we saw with Man City in the Cup, they go to shy. A team will then start, they'll be panicked and they'll be flustered. And I think we race into an early 2-0 lead. And that's what I'm hoping will happen.
If there was still an away goal, I think then they'd panic at 1-0.
Yeah. That's a key real change now, isn't it? Because I think you're seeing teams,
they're a bit more relaxed about conceding, going, well, it doesn't really matter.
Sorry, Chris.
No, when you go on.
I was going to say, I think the only time we start seeing Villarreal be more open is if we go 2-3-0 up.
I think you're right.
I think then that's when you've got to go for it, because otherwise, going back to Villarreal 3-0 down, I think that it's never over until it's over, is it? But it's not going to be an easy task for them. Whereas 1-0, I think they'll take a 1-0 any day. They've got something to play for them, haven't they?
And as we said about Man City, look, we have to be fair and balanced, but we don't have to be, but we will be. A 1-0 win for Liverpool does leave, questions then for the return leg and does play into the weekend and things like that. But I think this team are just looking one game at a time. But Newcastle do come around. Jurgen Klopp wasn't happy. I don't blame him. The Spanish teams, Dutch teams, Italian teams, fucking every team, leagues sort of accommodate teams when they're in the later stages of the European competitions. Liverpool, someone has to play the early game. It doesn't have to be Liverpool or Man City. So, I don't know why the fuck we're being put on, but Jurgen Klopp isn't happy. We go to St. James's. St. James is it there, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's away. They're on a good bit of form. They've won 5 or 6 home games in a row or something, haven't they? So, Emmet, I'll come to you. Are you worried about Newcastle at the weekend? Or are you beyond?
I'm probably worried. No, I'm probably worried about Newcastle more than any other team that we've still to play. Champions League aside, obviously. They are on good form. They've got some decent wins, but they've also had that absolute shit show against Everton.
Yeah.
So they still have that in their locker. But early kickoff, it is going to be tough. But like we've said, we could probably afford to change 5-6 lads going up there and still be very, very strong. I'm starting to worry about every game now because it's like I've said, we're doing the quadruple, it's on, and I'm like, oh shit, what am I going to look like now when we drop points or whatever?
We've been saying it on here for months, mate. Don't worry about it.
No, but it is the time, the turnaround worries me as well. 12:30 on a Saturday. I never like it. I think I said it before. I don't like a 12:30 kickoff until after it and we've won. And then your weekend is great watching everybody else having to win. I still think we'll have enough to beat Newcastle. It won't be like the Villarreal game. It's not going to be as easy as maybe teams had against Newcastle earlier on in the season. But I'm touching wood here. I don't see how any team beats us at the moment, if I'm being honest. So a little bit more, I'd be more worried about Newcastle than the Spurs game. But I think we'll have enough. I think he'll swap out. He'll probably swap out would he swap out the whole front three? I think Salah just keeps playing. I think he's just going to keep playing Salah. So you might see if Bobby's back, maybe Bobby will go in, Jota instead of Diaz. depending on who actually starts. Actually, just looking at what Chris said about Hendo doing the presser today, Hendo might come in, and it might be Thiago that sits out, and Hendo, Keita, and Fabinho plays. Yeah, you might even see Jones at the weekend get a game. You might see Matip then come back in, and probably Tsimikas. So, but again, like we've said for the last few weeks, you'd still expect that team to go and beat Newcastle. So a little bit apprehensive, but still think we'll have enough.
Yeah. Well, that's the main thing. Ash, Newcastle, Sunday morning, 12:30. Could be worse, could be Sunday night. They're all on the sauce. We ever in Newcastle? Mad place.
Saturday, mate. Have you been on the sauce? It's Saturday, isn't it, the game?
Saturday morning.
He said Saturday morning, he said, but it could have been worse, could have been Sunday night.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm not on the sauce then, yeah.
No, because it's a mad place, Newcastle, isn't it? And, St. James's Park is smack bang in the middle of the city centre.
Yeah.
Never everyone's on the ale all day, and going into a match could become a bit raucous there as well. But are you worried about the early kickoff, or do you think Liverpool will just get this game out of the way and then focus on that game, and it's just a case of next as the season goes on?
I think whoever done the timings of the matches needs to have a good look at themselves. If Man City are playing tonight and we're playing tomorrow, how is it we've got the earlier kickoff on Saturday and they've got the late kickoff? That's what I don't seem to understand. Surely you'd think, as Man City's playing tonight, why didn't they have the early kickoff on Saturday? And then we play late Saturday afternoon or Sunday or whatever that looks like. So whoever's come up with that idea needs to have a proper look at themselves. Newcastle, they're on a great run. Are they on the beach? Nearly thereabouts, I suppose. I think one more win, and I think they're definitely there. I hate 12s. I'm like Emmet. I can't stand them. But then we've got a good record, so all this worrying about 12 kickoffs, but we don't seem to do too bad with them. I think tomorrow night is a big factor of who we play on Saturday. I think if we go there tomorrow and win comfortably, then I think we probably play a real strong team on Saturday, get the job done, and then probably make the changes for the return leg. If it's a case of we go there with a slender lead after tomorrow night, then Saturday it could be a mixture of changing the personnel to try and accommodate the second leg. I think tomorrow will give us an indication of how Saturday goes. I really do. I think we've got to play our strong team. We're going for the quadruple. I think every game is important, no matter who it is. It could be Norwich at 12. It doesn't matter. It's a win. We've got to win. I still think we've got enough to win it. But I don't think it's not going to be a walkover, to be fair.
Yeah, when Stefan Max on the good stuff there, we will rock up at the Geordies with a second string and batter them, and that's the enthusiasm I like. I can get all on board with that sort of stuff. But look, they're going to be tough. They're going to be hard to break down. They're the team that are looking at their own future and
exactly.
dreaming of what's going to happen with them. But are they on the beach?
I don't think so. I think they're going to want to try and see how far up the league they can actually finish. I'm actually was just trying to look up where they are at the moment. I think are they
11th, I think. Is that
11th? Yeah, so they'll want to break into the top 10. Easy. Can they get? They can't get to Europe. It's the teams between them and the European places that probably are going to be playing with their flip-flops on for the next few weeks. But I'd imagine that Eddie Howe and Newcastle, the players themselves, are going to want to get up as high up as possible in the league. So it's probably the one time, just thinking about it there when Ash was talking, I know it's only Spain, but it's probably a blessing that this first leg is actually at home, so there's no travelling involved and stuff like that. It's literally play the game, home to bed, up for training tomorrow. Unless he gives them the daybreak afterwards, but I don't know. Maybe they'll train in the evening time. So it's probably a blessing that it's actually at home. Like I said, it's only Spain, but still you don't want to be flying and do you know what I mean, hanging around. I know they probably don't do much hanging around in airports and stuff like that, but it is still kind of traveling. Probably wouldn't get back till 2 or 3 in the morning if they flew straight back. Maybe they'd stay over and not fly back until Thursday, and it's giving you even less time. Yeah, no one.
Owen says some of those Newcastle players are fighting for their futures. I don't think any of them have a future, to be honest, except for Guimaraes
Trippier.
and Trippier. Other than that, I think they're all bleeding, fighting for their futures as in their next move. And
The shop windows.
yeah, even Eddie Howe, I mean, I'd say he's thinking, how will he do for Everton in the Championship next season? Because I'd say they're going to even get rid of him. No matter what he does, I think Newcastle are going to be looking to upgrade everything that they have.
I think they'll keep him until Christmas. If they're not on a certain by Christmas, they'll bin him off. I think the half 12 suits us. Because I think last time we played Newcastle was between a semi-final for Barcelona, and they had nothing to play for because it was a late kickoff. The crowd was up for it, and it was an absolute ball ache of a game. It might suit us where we always say everyone's half asleep at half 12, but that might suit us a bit of subdued crowd, so it might help us a little bit just to try and get a job done early. But I don't think it's going to be an easy game because Newcastle are in pretty decent form. I think they're about 10th in the form guide, so we'll have to see how we do when we get there. But don't say too much, Keith. You're spoiling my show for Friday.
No, I would say nothing. Manuel Federico Cachaca San Juan, what a name. That's Newcastle don't need to be in Europe. They already loaded end of. Yeah, but you see, I think what they need to, why they need to be in Europe is they need to attract players. Do you know what I mean? So we've seen it with Man City. You started paying big money for players to get you the platform, and then you get the superstars. So if Newcastle want to be getting superstars, they need to be finishing as high as possible and getting into those European places. And even if it starts off at even if it starts in that bleeding Conference League thing,
they'll love that Newcastle fans.
European football.
That's
what you'll attract a player that will do that for a year, and they'll look, and that's how you keep them in. So it will be interesting to see what they do. But I think the people are saying that they're 9th in the league. 9th, fucking Newcastle. It's amazing what 100 million in January will do, isn't it?
Bruno Guimaraes, though, he is a good player. He seems like he seems like he's going to do bits for him.
Yeah, I mean, but
they are the 9th.
Yeah, blimey, I didn't realise that.
You look at their Newcastle squad. I don't know who's playing, who's injured, but if you're looking at like Dubravka, he's not a good keeper in my opinion. He's a weak link. Or if it's Carl Darlow, he's worse. You probably got Matt Target at left back. Villa couldn't wait to get rid of him. Manquillo, we see him playing at right back. Someone can correct me if he's been in there or he will play there. So you're gonna have Fabian Schär and Dan Bourne, probably the 2 centre backs. Or do they play with 3 centre backs?
Well, last week they had Emlyn Kraft at right back and Jamal Sells with Dan Burns. So they had as a back 4.
I think they'll go with a 5 even against us, to be honest. But who's in their midfield these days? Bruno,
Guimaraes,
Shelby,
Willock.
I think Longstaff. I think it's Longstaff because I think Shelby's been injured.
Oh, right.
It was Shelby before that.
Joe Linton actually reverted up top last week against Norwich. But he's been ripping it up in
He's
midfield.
Been brilliant. Yeah, he's been brilliant for them, and fair play to him because, again, tongue in cheek, they're all getting sold. So if you can do well, like Joe Linton is going to go. Joe Linton is going to go. He's going to do well for himself by reinventing himself this year. Do you know what I mean? Like, they paid 40-odd million, I think, for him off Hoffenheim. It was big money, and it would look to be an absolute busted flush. He's anything but. He's a really good player. He's a big fucker. He's playing the midfield. He's not afraid to put his foot in. Left foot. I think he's a very good player, and he could do well out of this. But on the day, I'd expect their lads to have too much from him. And then up top, you're looking at Chris Wood. Look, I think he's terrible. I think he's a type of player. And look, I don't really like those big, bony target man type characters. But he do a job for you, and he will be awkward. He's had a nice little career. But I'm not worried about him. If they play that White Gale fucker now, then I'm sort of panicking. But other than that, Alan San Maxima, he's one that you can flip a coin and will he be good, will he not? See that you only mentioned John Joe Shelby and all the webcam chat. Hot girls and boys are in. They can sense.
That's what you know. You've hit the big time now.
I think they bought Chris Wood with the with the acknowledgement that Trippier is going to be just putting balls in, but I think that was absolutely scuppered when he obviously got injured. So I think that's why it's not worked as well as it probably could have.
I do wonder if it, at the time we'll just buy him to knacker Burnley, because at the time it was them or Burnley to go down. I think.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it went, we'll just knacker Burnley by taking their main target man. I mean, actually, the guy they've got in replace of Weghorst is probably better. Is probably a better player, to be fair.
I think he's a better player. He just hasn't got the goals. Weghorst. It's unfortunate. Andy O'Chill was looking for us to talk about the carry on of Everton fans. We can do a whole show about carry on of Everton fans, but did you see the reaction to
the
Domino's Pizza? Doing a tweet about Richarlison falling over. Did you not see it, Emmet? No,
I'll have to look it up.
Look her up. Everton fans
are
mad. They're boycotting Domino's Pizza there.
What's the character called? Well, it's a Simpsons character.
It's Ralph. Is it?
Ralph rolling down the hill.
Rolling down the hill, and they said it's Richarlison. They said Richarlison. It's funny.
Yeah.
Do you see the Paddy Power one as well? The fan reaction one.
That's brilliant.
That's absolutely that's amazing. Absolutely.
You know what? You could spend the time. We can laugh and joke about them, but in all honesty, things have got quite nasty over the last few days from Everton's fan side of things, and fuck them, don't care. Hope they go, never to come back. Really, they have such a small mentality that a pizza ad. I mean, was it Ronald Koeman had his red decorations on his Christmas tree and they went mad. Rafa Benitez came in, they're like, he has a red hall door, we're not having this.
But the worst thing about the Koeman was he changed his tree, goes, hey, hope you're happy. And then, because I think he did gold, and they kicked off because it wasn't blue, so he had to change it again. he had to decorate his tree 3 times to shut him up.
And he blamed his wife on it.
Yeah. Would you fucking bother? Jesus.
Look, they're a mad bunch. And look, in all seriousness, we'll have a little chat about Everton, right? So I think the best thing that can happen to Everton is to get relegated.
I think it's the worst thing that'll happen to him.
Yeah, that is the worst thing that can happen to them.
Because I think if they get relegated, I think they might do a Sunderland because of the financial state that they're in.
That's the most probably. But if they manage to avoid that, let's say they go down, they don't get done for financial fair play, they don't get points deductions, they keep, Anthony Gordon there and whoever else they have. Holgate, yeah. Everyone else will be gone, but these will be there, and Ben Godfrey and the likes. They keep it, let's say, theoretically, they keep a decent enough squad and they go down. They start winning games and they start challenging for, and I'm not being, joking here, tongue in cheek or that, but they challenge for a title in the championship. That could do them the world of good because they think they should be challenging for Premier Leagues.
They need a hard reset, don't they?
They do need it. And in all seriousness, I think they do need a hard reset. I think they need to go and enjoy football again because they can't be enjoying this. So I know they enjoy transfer windows and all when they win them, but,
I mean, to be fair,
the fans can't be enjoying it, and it can't be a pleasant experience being a Blue.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we had this hard reset under Klopp.
Yeah.
Where, to be fair, and do you know what? People forget it now because it's all smelling the rose and looking great. Klopp pissed off a lot of fans, though, with his don't touch the badge and stop talking about what happened in the past, and he was calling people out, stop walking out the ground early, stop doing this, why do you think you can do that? And people didn't like it. Who he'd call the fans out, he goes, well, I'm the fucking manager. What are you going to do about it? I'll do it my way, not the Liverpool way. And do you know what? It did ruffle some people up, but actually, it's probably what we needed. Sometimes did need a little bit of a look at yourself to go, well, he's probably right,
100%.
Why are we kicking off that we're not winning the title when you look at the side we've got? There's nothing wrong with aspirations to want to win a title. That's what you should aim for. But you need that dose of realism going, but look what you've got. We've got Sacco playing for us and Kolo Torre. You're not really going to win a title with them at the back, are you?
No. But look, let them wallow. I have a comment here from B. Arthur. What's a title? I think that's a dig at my pronunciation. I don't speak limey. I love B. Arthur and the Golden Girls. I'm sorry it came across, that me limey accent didn't come across well, but I don't apologise. I should take it back. Apology rescinded. Fuck you, babe. It's a title. End of story. But now look, Everton. Emmet, what happens to them? They go down. Where do they go?
They go down. They stay down. for I think for a long time, and could possibly go down again. Say 33.
33. What is wrong with that? Why do people worry about Irish people saying 33?
Yeah, no, I agree with Chris. They definitely, they could possibly have a Sunderland in them. I think definitely.
They really do.
Yeah, I don't. Like, you see people saying that they'll go down, they'll win the championship, come straight back. I don't think they bounce straight. The championship is tough.
There's plenty of there.
There's plenty of teams that have gone down, never to be seen again, and they all float around kind of mid-table. They get a bit excited towards the end of the season, think they're going to make the playoffs, and they don't. They have to go again and go again. Like Leeds came close to coming back up so many times, and I think that's where Everton are heading. So I probably wouldn't like to see them go any further down than the championship. I know there's plenty out there that would, but I honestly don't see them coming back up in the next 2 seasons if they go down.
Yeah, but you know, they brought it all on themselves, I suppose.
But you see, they had their ultras. I saw a few videos, and some of the comments underneath were gas, like, enjoy Millwall away next year.
Yeah.
See how hard you are then, like trying smashing up TVs and everything. Like, what is that like?
Ridiculous carry on over football. And look, you know, I suppose in a serious note, let's say the unthinkable happens and everything go down and Liverpool win the quadruple, right? Like, it's going to be very dangerous. No, but like, in all seriousness, like, it'll be a dangerous place. Parades and things like that. There'll be bleeding murder. You won't get a taxi from the airport.
Your taxi won't pick you up, will he?
Nah, that poor fella, he'd be finished if that ever did happen. But anyway, lads, tomorrow night we're going to do it. We're all happy enough that Liverpool are going to put down a marker for this first leg. Anything before we go, Chris?
No, just because it's the first time I've been on the pod. Well done, LFC women. It was great. It was great fun on Sunday watching them lift the championship trophy. So look forward to a WSL next year now. Yeah,
but you know what? It is a big deal because it's all on the TV and all. You know, it's a huge thing at the moment on Sky, isn't it? They're showing WSL games, and the more visibility these teams are getting, the more interested I think clubs will take it.
Every game. If it's not on Sky or BT, it'll be on the FA's iPlayer. So basically, you can get access to every game. Whereas in the Championship, they only pick one game a week to show. So it gets more eyes on it. And look, it's been a crappy couple of years, so it's nice to have some joy. You know, fair play to Matt Beard. You know, he had a horrible week. You know, unfortunately, the poor fella lost his father earlier in the week. So you know, the team put in a hell of performance. You know, beating Sheffield 6-1's not easy. So fair play. And so look, I'm buzzing. Look, it's only the second time I've seen Liverpool lift a trophy in person. The only other time I saw it in person was the 06 FA Cup. First time my daughter's ever seen him lift one in person. So she just thinks that's what you do all the time. Now when you go to football, she's in a, you know, bless her. She'll soon realise that's not always the case. But no, she
learned that lesson.
Yeah, but look, it's great. And then I watched Everton. Then I sat in the pub and watched Everton get beat. So you know, perfect Sunday for me.
It was some lift as well, wasn't it? She did.
Henson's
all the way along and back. That's what I said. Hendo he's gonna definitely have to up his game a bit.
And have to pull his finger out if next one we win.
Yeah, there you go.
It could be Everton's only Merseyside derby as well next year.
That's it. Yeah,
that's very true. That's very true.
Come and park the bus. Ash, anything before we go?
I was going to ask of your opinion with the current situation with Chelsea. Obviously, with Rudiger going to Real Madrid, and obviously,
it's
just a quick one. Just a quick one. Sorry. Obviously, with Rudiger now going to Madrid and getting paid a ridiculous amount of money, and obviously now Tuchel's come out and said, "Oh, it's all down to the current situation of the ownership." Do you feel like there's going to be a mass exodus now of players, and that's going to screw them over, or? You know, not to the extent of like Everton, obviously. I'm not saying that, but the way that they've gone from potentially title challengers to top 4 hopes now next season, I reckon.
It's very interesting to see what happens there because, you know, none of us know. Do you know what I mean? For a club that's being sanctioned, they're still doing an awful lot of fucking
business.
ticket sales, business, you know, sponsors that are walking away, and I'm still seeing plastered all over them. So, look, I don't know. Yeah, it obviously is affecting their ability to sign Rudiger to a contract. They've got Christensen and they've got Aspilicueta that are going to be going out. There is a lot of players that, you know, they maybe like to move on. And I think if there's nothing resolved, I think they're going to have to lean on their famed loan system and bring these lads back in, bring back Conor Gallagher and bring back Broja. And
isn't it changing next year, the loan system as well? So you can't loan the masses out that Chelsea do.
Yeah,
there's some change, all right. Yeah.
Yeah,
but the restriction of numbers as well, isn't it? The amount that you could send out and
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, Kev O'Sullivan said Aspilicueta has extended. How can he have extended?
I suppose, if they're
I think
under
it was
restriction-
already written in his contract.
I think it was an option there.
Yeah. But this is like when Chelsea had a transfer ban and still brought in Kovacic and fucking Pulisic. You know,
yeah,
doesn't surprise me.
I think it's sorted by the end of next month.
Yeah.
My gut feeling is they'll get a new owner, but it might be more down probably similar to our model. It'd be a little bit more spent within your means and probably not quite as extravagant. But I don't think it really affects them being outside the top four because, to be fair to Chelsea, they've always been very good sellers. They get big money for some players that you think are like, I don't know how they're getting this money, but they get big money for big players. So actually, when you look at they balance it fairly well. So I think there'd be more. That's what changes. Perhaps you won't see as many £100 million players, but I think the talk of them being a demise might be a little bit optimistic by some people.
Yeah, I think the one of the stipulations of buying the club is that you cannot sell up within the first 10 years. I think was one of them.
To Abramovich, you can't sell it to him.
So you'd be hanging around like a bad smell.
10 years, They'd be like a countdown.
Yeah. And they'll all be delighted to get him back. Emma, anything before we finish?
No, again, just looking forward to tomorrow. So hopefully we go off like a rocket and get a lead and then make the changes.
Excellent stuff. Keith, anything before we finish? Funny you should mention it. Yes. Owen, no, not about the VPNs. Owen had a comment up about Kevin Durant getting knocked out in the NBA. Delighted, hate his guts, and I'm delighted that he got knocked out. Swept 4-0 by the Boston Celtics. I love the Boston Celtics. They're a really good team this year. Absolute grinders in defense. They're brilliant.
It's netball.
No. You keep out. You don't win. Don't worry about this. But I can't stand Kevin Durant. He's one of the best players of all time, but there's just something unlikable about him. And he got swept in the first round, 4-0. Gonzo. Couldn't be happier. Next. So I think that's a great place to leave. I think everyone's happy now with the Kevin Durant news.
Kevin Sullivan said about Féileacáin.
There you go. Féileacáin. I was nearly forgetting. There's a big push on about Féileacáin at the moment. Gav put a tweet out earlier from the account. You know, we're all sort of pushing, and people might get sick of us talking about Féileacáin, but we'll still talk about it. I wasn't going to talk about it there because I was forgetting, but you know, Ash reminded me. Well done. But we're going to constantly keep saying it. It's a charity that if it's not close to you, it will be close to somebody, or the circumstances will be close to somebody that you know, and it's something that we're going to keep pushing. We know times are tight, but if you can spare anything towards it, please do. Share it if you can't, you know, because the more visibility it gets across, the more eyes, the more chance of raising that money is. We're looking to raise €10,000. That was our target at the start. And it's always, Gav does these things, right? And he always sets an ambitious target. And with the help of a lot of the people in the chat, listeners of the show, we do smash them targets. Now, things happened in the world, made this one a bit harder to achieve, but we're going to keep pushing it, and hopefully we can get to that target. But if anyone can donate, can spread the word, can, you know, the golf day coming up, if there's anything about the golf day, prizes, things, everything like that, just get in contact and we'll be able to do something surely around that. But what's Kev saying? I'll get the mohawk on the golf day if we get to 10. There you go. Who doesn't want to see Kev with a mohawk? So, you know, that's not...
He's getting a Vidal, isn't he, if we win the quad, he said.
Vidal so soon. Listen.
No, Vidal, mohawk.
On that note, if he's getting the tattoos as well. No.
Well, let's ask him.
On that note, we leave it there. Listen, this has been the midweek fix. Hopefully, we've got some celebrating to do tomorrow, and we'll see us all again soon.